want to see how well it's working in the YouTube beta version of the live stream. So we're going to get it on and do a little bit of quick testing to see how the OBS settings are working on this particular stream. So we're going to give it a few real hardcore tests here. Just going to run around in circles a little bit, see how our FPS is going, and see what kind of stream rate we're getting. So far as I can see in my own game, I'm not suffering a bunch of lag, so that's a good thing. Because usually when things are going bad, they're going bad everywhere. And you can kind of tell when your stream is really messing up your game. But right now, it looks to be doing good. Doing a lot of quick harvest here, and quick manual harvest. Frame rates are keeping up. It's all looking good. So, not being a bandwidth hog. Still looking good. Good run downstairs. Well, everything seems to be keeping up quite well. I guess the proof will be in the pudding when we actually get a chance to look. So, we've moved our iron golem farm to the other end of the big hole. This end of the hole is doing well. Oh, I see the escapee villagers have found the doors. I threw my nano farm in over here, and when I placed it, I forgot to really pay attention to where it was being placed, and it was like a block off in symmetry, and it was really messing with my brain. So hey, instead of just leaving it looking ugly there, I threw a door in front of it. Cover it up. I didn't want to build it again. I've rebuilt that nano farm so many times. The nice thing is, instead of having to look at Impulse's tutorial on the subject again, I was able to build it without even playing the tutorial. This is my new extra haste 2 that I've got down here at the end for knocking out those last 20 or so blocks to the far side here. I've thrown up some signs telling me what it is I think I'm going to be doing. I've moved the smelter, and of course massive storage. When you're digging a hole of these proportions, you end up with a lot of resources. Don't look at that Enderman. We don't want to play with him right now, especially since we've killed most of our little chew spaces. So here in the big hole, as you can see, we're planning on doing the entire 50 block range of our main set of beacons and our main buffs, but you know, within the haste 2 on our main pyramid, we're doing 50 out that way, 50 that way, 50 that way, and 50 back that way. Yeah. And this temporary area where we've set up our storage and stuff, it's all going to end up back in the walls. I started to do a mother of all tree houses around this primary beacon pyramid, but I got it like halfway built on this side, and I realized it was obstructing my view so bad that I really didn't like it. So once we get everything dug out, we'll revisit that, whether we're going to put it around the pyramid or whether we're just going to like move it to one of the sides or something like that, because I really didn't like that. And that'll, where it ends up will really depend on how much of the ravines that are within this system end up poking out. What is some of the other things that we managed to get done? Like I said, we moved our nano farm back there. We put in one tree for our like mini manual tree farms, and that seems to be about it. I mean, we've obviously dug out a few more sections of the hole, and we're back to this part where we were. This is like right on the edge, right here. This is the edge of the effects from the primary uh, beacons in the primary pyramid. So we went and got us some more wither skulls to give us another haste 2, just so that we can knock out this other 20 like we have on the other side, so that we can do the double arches. And we're going to do the double arches on at least on this back wall. I think it'll really depend on how much of this ravine space actually ends up being exposed, or how much of it ends up getting destroyed in the dig out process. So, what is the other thing that we did? We moved our slime farm and changed the type that it is. Uh, we had a pretty traditional slime farm with the platform and the water around it, taking it to the kill zones. And I seen this on Exuma's feed with this design, and I said, hey, I like that so much better. That's so cute. Especially since you got a golem to sit there and stare at and go, hi, bud. How you doing, man? He's captured in that spot. The slimes are spawned. They see him as an enemy. They go running towards him and kill themselves on the one cactus, rather than having to have cactuses all the way around to kill them, or having a water source pushing them into a couple of cactuses and a collection area. And so far it seems to be doing okay with the collections. I did end up having to put more hoppers in than Exuma had. He said nothing falls outside of that area, and I sat there and watched a couple of destroyed cubes, and there was leftover balls all over the place. So I decided to boom, to get rid of it. And oh, Heather was so nice to me. She gave me some sand into my smelter. As you can see, this roof up here takes quite a bit, or the ceiling takes quite a bit of glass, and it takes even more than you're thinking, because it actually has another layer of brown glass on top of it to act as a filter, so that you don't have the real harsh colors of the primaries. The greens and the reds, they were just bounce, and even the oranges were bouncing a little bit too much, and I took yellow out of the mix because it was just like way too bright. But I was sitting there playing around, and I went, oh, wait a minute, use a filter. And yeah, so I started using another layer of brown as a filter, because see, that subdues everything. But of course that just like upped the cost of that ceiling, by a whole bunch. So as you can see, you're sitting there looking at these colors. They look all real nice and subdued, and it is real nice. Makes a real good match to the pod soul in the biome, which I really like. That's the effect that we were going for. And even our rainbow, once it comes through those layers of glass again, gets this nice subdued effect. So I'm really happy with the way the ceiling turned out. It is one of my favorite things of this particular build. And so the next part that we're going to be doing here is taking this out, another 20 blocks, another 10 blocks, another 12 blocks. I think it's another 12 blocks. You'll see it. I usually do it by digging in and digging out, and then it comes over for 4 of those. So it's like, what? It's like 12 by 22, 24 in each of the sections that I do. So we'll knock out these last 2 sections back here, and we'll put in the arches and the ceiling supports and see how that works out. I'm real excited about how this is coming together because, then we start putting in some of our favorite farms instead of doing all this manual harvesting so that we can have our lovely pumpkin pies. We will end up having our automated pumpkin farm and automated sugarcane farms instead of doing all that manual work. And of course, we'll have some watermelons then. I've got enough watermelon on hand for the potions that I do make. So it was like, I'm not making a manual farm for that. If I ever do really get hard up, I just go back over to the old base at the Village Trading Center and grab a few melons. On the way this is working out, because of all the digs that we're doing, we've got a couple of double cubbies so far of just random blocks. So, all the stone, all the granite, all the dorite, all the andesite are like going in here. We're doing that with the dirt and the rest of it too. So we're just throwing those in there, and we only sort the things that we really want and throw them into our chest. But we're going to be moving that storage around. This is the old location of where the Iron Golem farm was, and there's still some leftover things like the iron. This is our little cactus farm, and of course our cocoa farm. We're using a lot of brown glass, so that we have to have that cocoa farm. And yep, this was another quick tour of the hole. It was mostly just for a test of the streaming, but I hope you enjoyed the show. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.